Hi! Get ready to explore a world of paper perfection. The Flowering Zinnias Designer Series from Dry Embossing and the Very Best Occasion stamp set. Thank you so much for coming here and hanging out with me for a few minutes. I appreciate your time so much. My name is Julia and I'm with JuliaSue'sStamping, where I am passionate about stamping, coloring, paper crafting, card making, and sharing the fun of doing all of that with you. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I live in Northeast Ohio. I'm going to have all the supplies used listed down in the description below, so please be sure you check it out. I also have my online store listed there, so if you decide you want to make any purchases of the things that I use, I really appreciate your support of my small business, and thank you. Finally, my blog address is also listed in the description down below, and on the blog I have measurements for everything that's used, as well as even more details just for you. So please be sure you check it out. All right, are you ready? Let's get started. Witness the awe-inspiring beauty of the Flowering Zinnias Designer Series paper. Here's a kaleidoscope of colors and patterns in this paper that's just going to leave you breathless. It's so gorgeous. And you're not just making a card when you're using this Designer Series paper. You're making a masterpiece, and it's going to rival a floral explosion. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it coordinates with so many colors. It's an online exclusive that Stampin' Up! Has, and it's going to be available as of March the 5th. So be sure you check it out. If you're anything like me, online shopping is what you do most of the time anyway, so it's pretty easy to get your hands on it. But wait, there's more. We're going to be doing dry embossing on this card. And dry embossing takes the crafting game up to the next level. It introduces some sophistication and texture. It makes your card feel like a work of art. Because why settle for ordinary when you can make extraordinary? So, we'll go ahead and bring in some of our players here, shall we? The base of this card is going to be an old olive that has been cut 11 inches by 4 1/4. All of the measurements will be listed on my blog. This paper has been scored at 4 1/4 inches, so I take the bone folder and I'm going to make sure that score line is folded nice and tight. We're going to bring in that embossed piece of cardstock. Isn't it beautiful? It's also with the old olive. It has been cut to be 2 inches by 5 1/2 inches. So let's go ahead and adhere this to our card base. You can use the debossed side or the embossed side. It's the same piece of paper, but they're called two things. When the indentations go into the card, it's the debossed side. And when they're coming out of the card and towards you, they are the embossed side. So you can choose whichever one you like. Sometimes on cards, I use the debossed, and sometimes on cards, I use the embossed. Doesn't matter, it's whatever preference you have. So this adds some beautiful texture to the card, and it's such a fun element to have. The next thing we're going to do is bring in a piece of Blackberry Bliss. This has been cut to be 3 1/8 inch by 4 3/8 inch. And I have a piece of that Designer Series paper from the Flowering Zinnias, and it is gorgeous. I cut this sheet to be 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches. So it's going to be framed by this Blackberry Bliss just beautifully. Let's put them together. I'm going to adhere it to the card front using some dimensionals. I'm going to put some dimensionals on. And since this is a bigger piece, I'm going to put one in the center as well. That way it keeps the piece from kind of dipping down in the center, helps give it some structure. So what I'm going to do is place this right into the center of my base, and you can offset it to a side if you'd rather. That's up to you. I have 2 circles that I have cut out using the cut and emboss machine with these stylish shapes. This is the third from the largest circle of the stylish shapes, and I keep it on a magnetic sheet that I have just so I don't lose it while I'm busy crafting. I use this stylish circle to cut out a mossy meadow one and a basic white. And so you can see they've got this little bit of stitching detail all around the outside, and people comment on that all the time. It's a really cool detail. I'm first going to stamp my sentiment onto my sentiment piece here using Blackberry Bliss and the Very Best Occasion stamp set. Prepare for a stamping revolution when you use this, because this stamp set isn't just a collection of sentiments. It's like having a party on a stamp pad. So you can get ready for quirky phrases, delightful fonts, and there's a celebration of sheer joy for the birthdays here. That's what I'm going to use, is sending you smiles for every moment on your special day. And I'm also going to pull out the happy birthday sentiment in here. You don't want to have an acrylic block that's too big. So what you do is you take the stamp and you just place it on the acrylic block. It's very sticky and it will stay on there for you. Isn't that nice? So with this one, it was a different shape and I didn't want to use a much of a bigger acrylic block. I want one that's going to just fit perfectly on there. So that's why I have this one. The sentiment that we're doing is the sending you smiles for every moment of your special day. So I tap that in the ink pad. And now I'm going to stamp it onto the sentiment piece. And it doesn't really matter where I stamp it on here, because since it's been cut out, I can make it straight as much as I want. I'm going to go ahead though and close up my ink pad so I don't accidentally get ink on myself because I'm very good at doing that. I'm going to adhere this white piece and the mossy meadow piece together so it just offsets like that. I just think that's really pretty. And yes, I'm reusing a piece of cardstock that I had for something else because I don't want to waste my cardstock. Yeah, a little bit less than that. Oh, that will look really good on there. And now I'm going to adhere this, because the good thing about cardstock is it has 2 sides. So even if I've written something or used it for something else, I can use it over again. And so I think I will have it go right around here. There, I think that looks really good. And now I am going to do the inside. I've got a piece of basic white that has been cut 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and then another sheet of the Blackberry Bliss that's been cut just an 1/8 inch bigger, 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/8 inch. So I'm going to adhere the basic white onto the Blackberry Bliss. I like to use tape adhesive. Maybe you're a person who prefers the glue, and that's fine. And then putting this inside of our card. And here's the inside scoop. We're taking the Simply Zinnia stamp set, which is also a cling stamp set, and we're going to use this gorgeous Zinnia. The magic isn't just stopping on the outside on this card. Using the Berry Burst and inking up And then using a sheet of grid paper, I'm going to stamp off twice. Then I'm going to stamp my zinnia inside the card. So you can see our recipient will open the card to reveal a stamped zinnia from the Simply Zinnia stamp set, and that's going to bring an extra dose of charm and floral fun. So, you know what? Life may be chaotic, but this card is here to remind you to bloom wherever you're planted. To finish off this card, we're going to put on some of the Adhesive-Backed shiny sequins. Using my Take Your Pick tool, I'm going to get a couple of the Granny Apple Green sequins and just pop them right onto the card. And finally, that birthday sentiment. We're going to go ahead and make sure it's pretty straight. Yeah, I think I'm really happy with that. Inking it up with the Blackberry Bliss and stamping it inside. We don't rock our stamp. You just go down and up. And now we're done. How beautiful is that? As you know, crafting is all about joy, and this card does not disappoint. Please remember to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and share this video with your crafty friends. Your next crafting adventure begins right now. Happy crafting, and I hope you get inky today. Bye.